Mission international wise about the free will discussing about the, if anything I really recognize about this one of discussing about the free will discussion is one of the things what I have as a get recognition about the to the lives, because I have been very active in the case. And is there really anything new about it? So the case is reality, so really we got important questions about the, there is a kind of a reference about the brains are some kind of a computers, but the biological computers are like biological robots are usually psychologists are solving experiences with what illusion that the everyone has given connect thoughts with themselves for unconscious processes, also a conscious process, because sense of willing act to be a change that created even eliminated through the brain stimulation mental recreate this case of performing scripted parts of it was to fight that idea what intolerable so powerful is illusion that they to make a choice that whatever to see illusion both will be a come from or what the share of it they should what ways the illusions it is like a brain occasion is the process about this kind of this what the theory this is about the somebody claim about be a share about this is interesting about the thing about the kind of the formations where cases of kind of a died about the we-ness or ownness or kind of a, it is a kind of ideation, it's a kind of a mental idea about the similarity about the similarity between the kind of a performance about the, I would say I'm talking about the all the materials in this room around example is some kind of a part of the we, some kind of definition of the we seems to be not always be absolutely the same about every mental processes about the is a subject whoever themselves define the we-ness occasion ourness or on this kind of a group actually, so it's not always absolutely the same definition what it group consists of, because it's a two-word letter okay, so it's the same about it. If I say example we okay, so here I just say the word okay, so this so we don't have any exercise any meaning about the patient at that for that okay, so what difference makes somebody else person's scene about which have attached as a kind of mental processes which will be consistent. What is the important thing about this like sort of the brain processes of the we than somebody cases you have different things mentioned about the we word okay, so my we is a nickname for my pen around it's called we. Okay, so it's shows about like a naturalist linguistic about the it is a very perpendicular some kind of a mental mapping processes which are based about it. Like I make talking about it, it can be very correct around any possible way. Like any languages, they are not like correct or incorrect depending of the what is definition which they are subjected. Like everything correctness, it's always about the subjectivity about the idealism. So subjects are like a standard idealization about it. So if some person English language skills are observed objected or it depends how some kind of the idea they should how rightness okay, so this other is, but this is a many times already expressed the whole same thing about and sure about okay, sure that because answers to what drive is small harvest cruise conditions what under evolve the case responsible of the actions with if they feel responsible for the actions about the case with the so that the belief or feel is undermined for people process your behaviors what feel is undermined the case that a more antisocial behavior with the belief in free will is undermined about. Well, that's quite interesting about the how to challenging about it. Okay? So the guys believe that there is never ever to be any kind of this kind of thing. So this could show about the cases of the idea about it that the in any organism to order to live they don't need necessarily be absolutely truthful about absolutely everything about it. So it is an order. If we take a here basic test around it, it shows somebody's belief are not absolutely scientifically shown to be absolutely every single respect absolutely the most are possible truthful about the kind of so they still kind of existing word about this kind of reality. Okay, we'll get it okay, so that is idealized here. It is what a concocted ingenious rationalization for nevertheless what have against sorry what is all based on red then find what something else what claims that the change actions response of the reason shown occasion but what goes to detail the case of simply environment influence can affect the vision. But that's going to be important factor here in this situation is that the most important is there is alternative possibility about it. You ask about it here, not necessarily about the here free will about it, but they ask about this alternative possibility ever possible. Okay, so that's going to be interesting about think about the thought about it. That kind of a form that it's never possibility of alternative possibility. It's like most of it doesn't even care about there's alternative possibility. Think about that case. Most of the case doesn't are interested about the case. Think about it. But that's kind of what I mean about it. If there's an alternative possibility about it, therefore the universe alone is responsible for everything in reality, in truthful case it is. And also everything is just robots within the system around here. So everything is robots in reality case. They have absolutely no control about anything case. What the case is nothing about the show's actions around and the environmental of it affects actions. So as a book will affect actually book about the harmony of the determinists as long as what the free note shows down the claim a puppet is free as long as he strings around. But it doesn't really my size. Everybody can put the books around. Why somebody gets to get more name around the others? Okay, so because the equality and all the things that in a universe, kind of preterist universe, everything is equal. There's absolutely zero sense around because everything could be isolated. Could be have alternative possibilities about within itself. Those things around. But if you don't have, okay, so what can we do about it? So this is kind of a good question. Is what happen? Okay, so if there's no free, well, it's very obvious because everything happened like there is no difference around it, right? That's what happened. Okay, so ways that say about the free will, everything will be eventually. Okay, so all the molecules and material particles will continue to travel. Okay, so it doesn't matter what happened, but what was the key with the despairing way for the stop doing anything is giving the despairing nihilist around stop doing anything. So this guy just somebody can be nihilist, but this doesn't necessarily stop person doing anything. So somebody can make videos about it and acknowledge about this reality. So I'm more real than it is US Senate example. Okay, so when it comes to truth about, okay, so even I have maybe less about the truth about it, but alas I have a probability more number about the reality states about the truthfulness about the state than any institution in the world. So how much say about it, I'm more truthful about the universe, about how universe operates and things about it, and lesser pretensions about how the universe works than any humanities institutions out there. Okay, so what is still about me, about myself, about the case, and those other institutions where there's some pretensions about so self-interested about important fact about interest about the manipulate about so idealization for their own certain causes about the and with removing some kind of reality about the universe, about the acknowledge about the reality, absolute realities, but so the kind of principles, okay, we talk about the principles here, where if we have so that's putting a timer on to think about those reduce with apology factor for more the mortality, what you said to ignore it by ruminating obsessive about it. So somebody gets pretentious something like if somebody gets pretend there is free will about or alternative choice, that is pretentious because there's not case about because you know, but when something could become lighter, so if person doesn't absolutely know about it, that he have an illusion about it, he think about it, he believe that he have a choice about it, and he doesn't knowledge about it is not the case around it. So therefore he has the illusion of the free will around it, and therefore he's just committing of a delusion of the free will every time he believes and every actions, whenever he do any actions, or when he acknowledges, idealizes about himself, his belief that he have a free will. And one of my claims that dependent on free choices about the faithful. What was important is so that the moral responsibility, but really what so behave at the court and should give more about the punishing or the dozens or actions are freely chosen or what should recognize what already makes an allowance of this program, what created a different. We think about the result from the reduction of the choice, what the factors like mental illness, diminished capacity, what the tumors that cause aggression, brain tumors, what in the truth that those are different responsible from regular, what someone in the TV case or anybody else, because everybody is equally have the same responsibility, zero set of respect case by own or rather actions, because universe as a whole like the work operated is there call it a zero equality about the. It is a calculate about this kind of matter. It can have different definitions about, of course, but as about the case that the physical events behind actions are less obvious. physical events that the actions are less obvious. It's just the physical events behind the actions that are less obvious. Yes, because there's a huge amount of physical events what's going on. Should go to the mate of a Punisher because of a because here this again the odds are on always the same thing around behave badly in the future. But again remember this fact about here it is like this kind of thing all if you really fail about it they're always short down about it when philosophers actually take over. It's like this kind of always the constant kind of a punishment always the same kind of thing about when there's discussing about all kind of some kind of moral agents are doing some kind of socially negative actions around every time that they always are going to they should be continued. It's like they have a predeterministic saying so rational. It's like always the thing right so the predeterministic about the well something say should and all the cases the word predeterministic already think about that ways and therefore whatever happened okay so everybody always this equality okay so whatever predetermination is okay so always what a good chance when we without that still use the data behavior okay so that's true about it can still use the situation is yes data behavior okay so this also alternative education is not to use about this kind of alternative not to use but it is inevitable okay so it will be happen okay so what is not justified about the revenge or attributes what is not justified is revenge or attributes the idea for making this choice around not justified yet the case is revenge. That's quite interesting about the case the idea for making front choice around should continue with the reward the case for changes with promotes behavior. But there is what's happened with the notions about what happened with what those are about the notion really if it is possible to anyway but occasion to act what thought we don't have it shape. Well, Peter to choose your case that allows of people determine whether to keep temperature. There are two upsides of it. The first is what I realize that the create one and mystery of the evolve occasion. I contemplate notion and things are consistent. And there's a lot of discussion about this case. What will the kinder word about the case why should I realize that but in an earth of occasion are victim circumstances around the case things are a big quadrant of environmental victims of the circumstances everybody guys this kind of equality about the universe guys disappointing notions of factor on will be very early on it became very obvious this kind of thing and that's kind of what he question is something guys he became just early about the universe about the case because it's a universe for the only finders here this is what they always about so yes, it doesn't matter, but that's the case in all dates about this is just the universe, like it's a give about the case now, the case now. But this is however the most realistic case and a truthful case that's the case. The universe is always a flavid argument. It's a flavid argument. I don't know who is what flavid. Reductionist case that then has no meaning. So the meaning has no meaning. But if I think processes have evolved to the natural processes, then reason is illusion. So what he talk about here for full discussion will still annihilate the argument case naturalist case order case meaning but you're excellent but it's all taught what argument has been disproved tenor and never learn how to think differently but learn how to think differently but when I think about why somebody doesn't think about the case of this like they say it's inevitable somebody whoever doesn't do anything as inevitable for every equality about inevitable every factors always happen the same thing around because it's impossible for anything to be any difference so it doesn't matter which side about the case there is no isolation about the difference about here it is something like it's inevitable that they themselves never acknowledge about this case because they're so strong around this case an important factor about it nevertheless it is the most truthful thing ever happened I guess to somebody case to think about it because it's an absolute reality based about it of course some kind of subjectivity is impossible I guess and to anything else there's a couple of things around here but it's a most important factor but one of the things is looking for what this universe is a component there's a it's like a calculated measure about the scientific measurement about it okay so that's why where the respect case goes down about it because there is no individual free choice about there that's why the second thing first important factor is there will be free will about it scientific there are 1 billion pages about that otherwise about determine shotkin now myself. I'm also a heavy subject here at this, I know, but I'm not necessarily the most truthful person about the case, but nevertheless I'm more truthful about the reality of the universe than well, quite many others case. What Bill sophisticated thinker as Vetter is right about what the professor of biology sophisticated thinker as Vetter what makes what you are better what the in addition what because Mr. Cohen gets destined to play flow when he's down around. What allows you guys appears to renovation got what it is the that case experience case that who's the case that here is about better that is the base elevation what this way set levels what is just gone what how many times the reports of the things being ratio process what is to seek rates I can see a point what the kinder what those what makes sense of his statistic one for fear ratio right but he at the head of innovate table with the argument by cause that they still see need to base that about as the user breaks from about the place that the answers about the whole react about the well it's not I don't make any kind of that kind of a day so this what happens is he tries to consider with the more about what he is what as with most of relatives he can was go through without contradiction himself contradicting himself but can you about the case this is getting interesting about it I'm not contradicting myself they should hear it and I understand that he is maybe contradicting himself so I'm not defending any there are just different things as I say about it so the case is just so the kind of a more truthful about the kind of universal issues about I'm going to talk about the old truthful but I'll talk about the issues that's only things what I'm here just something should be this kind of way I'm only truthful to issues all the odds are just completely it's just completely out of a different thing around it so okay so how is a different thing around here so okay so handle for different odds from mites around here what I have a contradict with you but you have to fail to understand that there is a when I mention the process R okay so a retibus is not a case of a policeman if you could have a done otherwise the case okay should could have otherwise what they say what can still be justified at that case don't have case still have if you don't have a case of this case what is what is the depth just be proper response to arrive inputs and exactly it is what the case is you can stick with the case and decide about the issue right case what they will have as a contra causal case if it is also what the this is what has progressive policy with people with regard to case see this what the reciprocation called by naturally sort of called what is it the case that he as you can had to protect with this to make choices as you can they had to predict to make a choice with the sister is just as real as the last of physics way so that a choice making is just as real okay so that's kind of interesting but the choice making is as real as the last of physics around it so okay so it's just make it is a part of the lab of physics it is completely labs of physics around it there's like a reality of nature like a choice making is of course one process around here they said that's okay so of course okay so choice making itself is question whole question about what choice making about the inevitable process on okay so colonizing yes what the individual of the are just causally effective as a causal factor stated by the R okay so should suppose at the end of the take a naturalistic science basis as a few cells or demoralizations or because that is a bit fatalist or top is doing about the what is just the causally effective I have so many about the kind of issues right here I have no concern about that kind of what the case of rotation here it is supporting a both tasks are case and it consideration with molecules interact with the place one of the important things about the universe about here like a two can skill case and two cases always say about the thought okay the respect and here it is how it's calculated everything is part of the same universe around so therefore it is a universe with the case and they are just mere objects are it's very well figured this out if nevertheless what considered with the fluid vessel molecules gas is associated biological functions so the do polar molecules either with the fluid vessel molecules gas is associated biological functions or like in the universe interconnected so the case it is it possible for a small brain able to be aware about them or it's just the interactions with the case never reduction of the rest of blatantly false with dichotomy what description what else level against the doctor what does the there is called the inability to comprehend is what a weird to call the inability to comprehend so weird what to find sort of amazing the depth of the what after with the clear knowledge that the reduction is the case at the square of Clayton Slaffman arguing against the more was arguing against the vulnerable turning insect case Russian speaking. Oh yeah, kind of what we're doing of both will and actually come from was this occasion illusion about the suspect their broadcast selection, but because what could and when we should find that the case illusion that they need to understand the origin of the illusion of the history involves of a few responsible actions around the chances being aware of the enable become a prophecy using the responsible company share respectful okay so the mysterious motivation and character okay so that is look at the case okay for taking on the anthropal ontology point out that the evolution is they are portrayed in the case so well, whatever he wanna see, but every theory even means the context should be discussed what it is about the okay, so everything's are theories by themselves. So there is nothing what the is all theories. Okay, so everything is theory, therefore everything what human mind is about we see about the light here, it's a theory, okay, so you saw it's of course absolute reality about it. But the point okay, so things who profit this argument, okay, profit so the given guess around interesting I'm not myself making a see about that kind of ask about myself about the others. It's some kind of ask the question of freedom again. So interesting whenever again, so they have always lost about the same is about it. He may be do those actions, but nevertheless he was always in behind. He was something that they refuse to see about because they don't actually care about that. That's quite interesting about okay, so I see about this, but otherwise I was looking for every different respect case. I see about the as is on occasion the all the interest okay so and that's the case what's turmoil okay for thing around here this well the reality about this universe is so free about it here it is myself getting effort this whatever the case I'm putting it down of course I'm very well known about that that's the case I play universe space who wanna be play universe okay so this case is somebody guys who really come aware about ask about who is really aware who's really aware really very well aware of guys so we try to ratio point in a coin to make what the thoughts inside that even evidence that shows that there was ratio or conclusion around he asked about this issues around but like something has to be really the actions are stronger than the thoughts or things or occasionally but that has to be due to next with this draft by the poet to kind of work so that the conclusive basis of the perspective or something is having a concern about the way so sort of that t-shirt that relapse to the way that have no choice with the matter okay so one other actor when he proposed the first time with the at the end just have a voice of the actor that's materialistic decides about which side because you can believe on the logical conclusion of that was supposed to real conclusion that he chose to fight exactly what he had a purpose to do but he has already established got refusing his progress leaving at the why should believe it as a system by his own admission were not made by reason logical experience but by fact that some chemical hormones activate occasionally positive too about it exactly what I read about it it's not about the person here it's nothing to do with the person about the reality about it's about the card for it, the biggest is what it is entropy is what illusion as puppet masters away so there is not actually puppet so here it's